Today, I command a Roblox war. Will I win or will I fail? Only you can find out by watching the video. Also, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe. Let's get to it. As I spawned in, I looked around my surroundings. A grass biome with snow in the front, desert to the right. Also to my right was purple. This would mean that I can easily invade him, but also he can easily invade me unless I purple wall. I first started off by building 2 wind turbines, and then I collected my money. I didn't want to build any more farms as I wanted to get the more richer and more money-making oil miner.
I like money.
Because the oil miner, it gives me 1,000 per minute, whereas the farm only gives me 500 plus per minute. Now with my money, I went to the build menu and decided to build more wind turbines. This would boost my money even more, and then I'll be able to buy more things like more soldiers, tanks, and other vehicles and soldiers. To my bottom, there is a wall, a rock wall, which is blocking me from getting ports, which is not good as I would be able to get ships. And now I could go to the left or the right, but there is no point. Anyway, I tried to ally with someone. Nobody was accepting until finally Yellow accepted my ally request. Now Yellow was to the left of me. This was great as I had 3 wins and I would be a bigger target to other players. Anyway, I built more wind turbines. This would boost my money, and I just kind of sat there and waited. Anyway, I collected my money. This was good. I had 1,287. Not enough for an oil miner yet. But my builder was still working, and he was building more and more wind turbines. This would be an economic advancement. After waiting, he had finally finished building the wind turbines. Look at him go. He is such a good builder. Oh wait, he missed one. Darn you. Just kidding. He is my only builder so far, and I should be getting more. Anyway, with my newly found money, I placed more wind turbines until I got 12 out of 12. This is great. I was the only person to have 12 out of 12. And in this game, you can spy on other players. I managed to finally get my first oil miner. Went and took a peek over at Yellow's base and Purple's. Purple hadn't done much. His only defense was a tower which would shoot. Anyway, I collected my money and I sat there and waited for my builder to build my oil miner. I now finally had enough for a second oil miner, in which I'll sell my farm later. Anyway, I took a peep over at Blue, a newly found player who joined the server. Orange also had no defense other than a tower. These were all 3 targets that were easy to take out, but I have to remember, it's only early game, 3 minutes into the server, and we haven't done much. I'm the only person who has advanced to oil mining, I'm pretty sure. I also have 12 out of 12 wind turbines, which is amazing because my money will go up very fast. And once I get 25,000, I can go to my HQ and get auto-collect. I also managed to get 3 more builders, which will improve my speed in building things. Now, as we speak, all my money is ready to collect, which is great. Purple still hasn't done much, which, although he is building a barracks, which means he could be facing to invade me at any moment. I had to get on his game. I collected all my money and entered the build menu. I got barracks and a vehicle factory, as I could afford both. Now I just had to save and wait for enough money to buy soldiers and vehicles. I was getting worried at this point. With barracks already being built by his workers, this means that he can invade anyone at any point. But luckily, I had stepped up and got my game ready. I had already had a vehicle factory and I'm producing soldiers as he speaks. I also remembered that I have to build houses because as you can see at the top, it says 5 out of 10, which means I have 5 people out of 10 that I can hold. With these houses, I can boost my population to 30, which means I can have 30 trucks, boats, or soldiers, which is great. Builders will increase my money, although his builder is stuck in the desert, clueless on what to do. Well, while I had vehicles on the ready and soldiers. I produced a artillery truck, which means that they target the building. My ally already going into war, which is not good for me. I mean, nothing will happen, right? No, nothing will happen. Apart from me going to invade him, which I do. Anyway, my ally had a very, very early head start on the war, and I was only coming in with a few soldiers and one artillery truck. Meanwhile, on the other hand, this guy was producing more soldiers, getting his money up with only a few builders. I sat there and waited for my troops to go over to his base. There they were, arriving at the border already. That was fast. Anyway, he had less defense than me. My truck was driving in and my soldiers supporting it in front. Only 3 soldiers, but rocketeers. He was also producing more as I was going in. This is not good. I sense we're going to lose this battle. And I was correct. 2 people down. 3. Oh my god, this is not good. Anyway, I knocked out one of his people. We are still in combat. I don't know what my ally was doing. Maybe he was producing more. I produced 1 rocketeer, 1 medic, and a few assault troopers. Though I wasn't going to go into battle. After this, I decided I was going to have a little sneak peek over at Purple. Still no defences, I see, besides from the tower. Anyway, I just sat there and waited for my money to build up. Keep looking over at Purple until my intrusive thoughts got to me and I decided that it was time to send troops over there and knock them out at the early game. This would be great for me if I knocked him out. Purple disconnected. I guess he was told to come off the iPad as it was time for his lunch or something like that. Now was the time I also decided that my builder should be building houses. After all, I needed more support and soldiers for the later game. If Purple was gone, then that means only Orange and Blue were left. Orange and Blue had no defense, although Blue was the person that we got knocked out by. Purple was gone. His base, well, what was left of it anyway, was engulfed in flames. Only a farm stood left standing, burning down until it would fall. As I was sat there, I was thinking, I have checked on Blue, checked on Purple, I haven't checked on Orange. Orange was producing hospitals and housing, but still, no defence. This is not good on their part. 8 minutes in, 9 minutes in even, and still no defence. Not even a barracks, not even a vehicle factory. Jeez, that is not good on his part. That means that we can invade him early. I sent my builders over to a farm spot where I'll be putting more oil miners. To the right of the farm spot, there is a little rock with cracks in it. This is where you can set up mines. I'll also be doing this to produce money. As you can see, my ally also had a farm spot, which that is good on his part, as he'll be able to support me if I get into any trouble. Orange was gone. He was told to come off the iPad. It was time to go to his nan's. Anyway, me, my ally, and Blue only stood standing. Although it was a 2v1, which doesn't mean that we would win. We knew this in the back of our heads, and we knew that we'd have to sit down and start planning out what we was going to do to attack. I decided to build 3 more houses. This would put my population to the max, bring my builders back away from the middle part of the island where they can get killed easily. This wouldn't be good, as I'd have to pay more money to get more builders. And although they are only 200, this is late game. There's only one person left. 2 allies. We need to win this. We can win this if he doesn't put up defense. As you can see, I could only produce 1 soldier. He was building a wall and supplying his barracks with more soldiers. Now that my soldiers and trucks were ready, I saw that my ally, Yellow, was getting raided. This was great, but also bad. It was great as he would be more distracting on Yellow as he is a neighbour, and I could sneak in and steal his base. Though Yellow quickly wiped out his soldiers, and that means that he'll be focusing now on setting up a more stronger attacking field. Rocketeers were on the ready. He could see my army slowly approaching him. He knew that my army was bigger than his, with trucks and tanks and soldiers. Though I did get a little bit scared. I knew that this probably wouldn't go down well, but I sat back and I let it happen, seeing what would happen. And the truck was down. Only men left. 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. Their graves lay there in dishonour. 4 down. The tank, driving over their graves, was nearly shot until he finally fell. 2 tanks from the back approached the desert. Will they be able to kill them? Or will they just sit there and let those RPGs hit the tanks? We'll find out. The grave of a fallen soldier slowly disappeared until it was no longer. 1 tank down. Will the tank be able to kill them all? Probably not. He still goes for the base. He's down. 4 of theirs dead. All of ours gone. I need more money. I needed to produce a stronger army. Yellow was building up an army of only tanks. This was good, as he would be able to fire slowly but do more damage with more tanks. I collected my money so I can get more soldiers. Rocketeers destroying buildings and vehicles. This wasn't good. Rocketeers would only fire at a slow rate, whilst assault people would fire at buildings, cars, and people. I peeped over to Yellow. Looks like he was on the move. He was fighting. This was good. He was distracting him. Although, distracting him from nothing. I decided to build more vehicle factories and barracks. This would mean I'd be able to produce more soldiers and vehicles at a time. Yellow, I don't know what he was doing. He was putting his tanks down, but they were just getting destroyed. The towers fought back against the tanks, and until eventually Yellow's tanks were forgotten and put to rest in the sand. I decided to peep over at Blue. What was he building? I don't know. A vehicle factory, of course, to supply more tanks to go against us. I decided that it was a good idea now to attack. I don't know why though, as I knew he was building a vehicle factory. I guess I wanted to put a stop to it. A stop to this madness, this chaos, and just win the battle. 15 minutes in, and still nothing. Nobody was out, and nobody was on the brink of being out. This was slow as heck. I watched over my tanks and soldiers march into battle, right on the brink of the border. I was sending my builders. I had a special plan dedicated to this operation. No, they was not going into fight. They wouldn't do much. They would kind of just build stuff and, I don't know, walk around. I decided to put all my army against a wall so they could see where I was. He started moving his army. He was starting to get scared. I could tell. I thought about constructing a wall, and I did, until, I don't know, I guess I kind of thought that I didn't want it anymore. But I still let him construct it. I was still mid-thinking though. Anyway, all my tanks had arrived. All my soldiers had arrived. All my trucks had arrived. Yellow was attacking them. I thought, this is a great way to kill them. They're getting distracted and I could come in and sabotage at any moment. This is when I decided the wall was a terrible idea. If I wanted to attack, I wanted to attack quickly and not having to go through a gate or demolish the wall. So I decided to sell it as soon as I could. My builders were upset with this as they spent ages building this wall for me to tear it down in a couple seconds. Anyway, I put my builder to one side as I was trying to sell the wall, but I just gave up in the end as they were in the way. But then I finally sold it. I got them to build a barracks. I bet you can see where this is going now. Setting up a special base, well, kind of base, in the middle of the desert, right next to the border of a country that we are allied against. This was a great idea as I could quickly send out soldiers, tanks, and other things into battle. I just needed to get my money and build a vehicle factory. So I went back, collected my money, and then I went back to the desert to build the vehicle factory. I knew this was a great idea deep in heart, but would it be quick, or would he just come down and quickly destroy it all? I'm not sure, but whatever the option is, I believe deep down it was great. I put down towers because I knew that if he just came down here and destroyed it all, I'd be devastated as I'd wasted my money and my time, and I also wanted to have the biggest and greatest success in this.
Oh, yes!
He was the only person to accept my ally request, therefore he must have been good. Or he just wanted to rely on me. Either way, this would be his first win, and I was happy for him. I was happy that he got his first win and he did most of the stuff whilst I sat there and produced a stronger attacking force, though I didn't do much damage. Anyway, the vehicle factory was done. I started producing heavy tanks, expensive but do a lot of damage. 4.5k per tank. That is a little bit expensive. Blue disconnected. He came back. That wasn't good. What's happening? Was his internet cutting out? Was he told to come off but he sneakily come back on in 2 seconds? Who knows? All I know is that I was sending in a tank. He disconnected again. Me and my ally, we both knew that this was the perfect opportunity to strike. If he was gone, he couldn't put up a fight. Did he rage quit? Or was he told to come off? We won't know. We'll never know. But all I know is that this was a victory. I knew it was a victory. Heavy tanks versus light tanks. Heavy tanks would win. And look how many tanks he was sending in. And look how many I had. 2. He done the majority. He deserves this win. But we both know that there was a little gap in the wall where his base was undetected. So we could go in and quickly break it. Anyway, we decided to go in quickly and loudly. He wouldn't produce anything as he was gone. His tanks, they wouldn't do much. His tower, that wouldn't do much either. He was just gone. He was gone anyway.
Oh, yeah!